Hello, this is Alert Day Trading. The purpose of this video and the videos I make is to journal my trades, notice any mistakes I'm making, notice good behaviors I'm doing, and trying to duplicate those. And so what I'm focusing on this week is to limit my trades, the amount of trades I take, and really focus on that one really good trade I can take per day. And I'm even considering trying to even take less than that, but I think for now one per day is okay. I'm also doing one trade per time frame, so I usually trade the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute time frames. So one trade per time frame. Each time frame has its own unique risk amount. And so the trade I took today was DKNG. So I'm looking for trades that are have very little resistance, and you can see this stock was trading in an all-time high, so it broke above the all-time high right here, the $28 range. And so right here you can see, let's go to the 5 minute chart. You'll see that the stock broke above this red line, which corresponds to the high over here. So we're at an all-time high, and I'm waiting for a pullback. And you can see that we're consolidating around this red line here, and we pulled back, and we closed above, and we had a close below, so I guess you can see that as a negative signal. And I put an order to buy above this candle right here. And so I ended up getting in the trade. So actually, here's a mistake. I remember now. So if I were to take this trade, I would probably get in right around here. And when I started noticing the trade, it was trading right about here, this level. So I missed the trade. So I ended up putting an order. I was kind of chasing, but I figured it was pretty close to where I would have bought anyway. But the point is that that's a lack of discipline, and it's going against my rules, even though it's very small, like bending the rule as opposed to breaking the rule. But if you start to bend the rules, then maybe that turns into breaking rules. So I think it's important to really stay strict with your rules. So I wasn't strict there. So not a terrible mistake. So if I'm looking at improvement in my trading, the mistakes I'm making are less severe. So if this is what I'm trying to improve on, that's a really good sign for my overall improvement. But still something to fix. So anyway, I still saw potential for the trade to break even higher, maybe all the way up to the $29 range. If there was more volume, maybe we could see maybe a couple dollars more. So here we have $25. That's a $4 increase. So, at least $1, $2 a move. But we only made it up to about 28.50s, and then I ended up getting stopped out at the low of this candle, so right here, and I ended up getting out of the trade. Good thing, because you can see how much further it dropped. It's came back up to this resistance level, and it's failing to reach back above it. So I think, you know, I'm just trying to analyze the pullback to the red line here. I mean, it was, I guess the close is below the $28 mark. So if we're looking for signals, we have a close above, so that would have been a positive signal. Here's a close above, but still, actually it's a close below. So maybe if we had more candles closing above the red line, would have been a better, those would have been better signals. So just trying to be a little bit analytical right now. And in the future, if I'm having a stock pull back, maybe if this candle were to stay above this red line, so even though this candle broke below the support, and if this candle were to hold above, and then maybe by the break above here, we might have seen a better continuation. So I think that's where I can improve on. But otherwise, I followed my plan other than with the bending of the rules. So that was my 5-minute time frame chart. And then I took one more trade. It was ALLO. And I traded this one yesterday as well. Because if you look at the daily chart, very little resistance, trading at the all-time highs. So yesterday, I took a small winner on this trade, and I noticed in the pre-market of yesterday there was some resistance at the 47, just under $47. So here, and looking back, I could have probably focused more on this stock since I knew that it had very little resistance. But although the volume was quite low in the morning, so I wasn't interested. But once the volume got above 1 million shares traded, that's when I got interested. And here you can see we had a nice run up. This is the 5-minute chart, and then we had a pullback. So I was looking at the 10-minute time frame because it was a little cleaner. And so here's that pre-market high from yesterday. So I figured, let's see here, we have a pullback. So looking for the break above the low, previous candle. The low would be right here, so 43.25. And then here we have 44.70. So that's about risking $1.50 to make about $2. So that's a little bit better than the risk to reward of 1-to-1. But my analysis saw that if we break below, so here we're breaking below VWAP and the EMA on both of these candles. And here we're holding above. So my analysis was, well, if we continue to break below the EMA and VWAP and break below one of these candles, then you can see this trend coming to an end. So I actually ended up putting a really tight stop loss here right below 43.90. So then my risk ended up being about 80 cents. So I'm now risking 80 cents to possibly make $2. So So that definitely falls into my risk to reward of 1 to 2. So I took the trade as it broke above this candle right here, 44.70s, and we went all the way up to 45.65. I scaled out right below $45 because I think it's good practice to sell at whole dollar ranges. So yes, I know I'm not getting to my initial profit target, but I think this practice is good for in the long run. Selling at whole dollar ranges, just a small portion. So I generally try to sell half of my position at the first profit target, and I just kind of lower the fractions as I get further up. So my first profit target will be half, my second profit target will be a third, and a fourth, and so on. So, since the 90-cent range, so the $45 is below my initial profit target, so I ended up doing a quarter of my position, and then I ended up taking another quarter at my initial profit target. So I know it's lowering my reward, but I think it's also lowering my risk. So I'm okay with that. If it will continue to push up higher, I'll still make a nice gain. But I think it's good practice to do that. Ended up selling again at the 45.40s range, just below the $half mark. Same thing there. That was actually my first profit target, so I ended up just selling the other quarter there. So I ended up with my first profit target selling out half, and then I was looking for a move to $46 where I would sell a third of my position or half of a third because my next profit target was 46.20s. So anyway, if you have any questions about that, you can let me know. But this trade ended up being a nice trade. I think I ended up with a 1.5 risk to reward trade, so it ended up being good. I got stopped out at break even, but if you notice, the EMA was holding kind of nice, and we're kind of pushing up back above where I originally bought. But at the same time, look at the volume. It's a low volume. So I was happy to take a small gain on this trade. Ended up being kind of a break-even trade. It's not too much of a big, it was a really small winner, just because, we didn't get to that $46 mark. So I didn't sell as much as I could have around here. But that's okay because ultimately I was hoping to get up to about $47 to about this red line here. So anyway, I'm overall pleased with my performance today. I know I took a small loss with DKNG, took a small win on ALLO. Increasing the quality of trades I'm taking and decreasing the quantity of trades. That's definitely a move in the right direction. So again, the purpose of this video and the videos I make is to journal my trades, notice mistakes I'm making, and focus on good behaviors. If I were to recap the mistakes, would be to not bend any rules. They would be very rigid and strict because I think bending rules will lead into breaking rules. So maybe you get away with it once in a while, but then you end up breaking rules, and that's where I've noticed that I had the most downfall. So if I stay away from that behavior, then I'll minimize any of my downfalls. Good behaviors would be, sticking to my overall plan, the one trade per time frame, and I did not take a trade in the 1 minute or 3 minute. I just didn't find any opportunities. I think part of it also being that today is Friday, so not as much movement as much as earlier in the week. So I think definitely if you can get away with just kind of a small / break even day on a Friday, that's definitely, I think, a good thing. Just with the low volume and low volatility on a Friday. Okay, well, if you have any questions, let me know, and good luck.